And if you're interested in being a barber and you just don't know where to start, I can definitely help you with that. Do you want an M3 competition or M4 competition, whatever it is may be? Do you want to have the latest Balenciaga? I can help you elevate, whether you have a car or not either. I can definitely help you because we can all start somewhere, bro. We can all start somewhere. This is how being a barber changed my life. Growing up in New York City, or Jamaica, Queens, New York City at that, being in the 5 boroughs is pretty oversaturated. I mean, there's a lot of people. It's a very hot spot for being migrated. Whether people are coming from different countries, third world countries, or even just from other states. I mean, it's a very hot spot for relocation. There's a lot of talent in the barber game. And I started pretty young, at 13 years old. And being 13, trying to get clients or even trying to, get taken seriously, being so young, nobody's gonna get their haircut by a 13-year-old kid. Come on, like, be serious. But I mean, lucky for me, I wasn't really interested in that. I genuinely just wanted to cut my own hair at that, and definitely just take care of my little brother. I wanted to cut his hair too. But before all that, my mom used to cut my hair, and what got me into it and interested was definitely seeing her being able to style my hair, whether I wanted a mohawk, flat top, some type of low cut. I mean, I did it all, bro. We all had the the story, like, we had the, what's it called? It was part of the plot. We definitely had to go through all those it was a canon event for us to get all those type of hairstyles. Being in New York doesn't really help because you're so bound by just being stuck in a box. Like, we're forced to really work and everything. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work a job that you don't want to do. And if you're interested in being a barber and you just don't know where to start, I can definitely help you with that because I didn't know where to start. I've been cutting since I was for like about 6 years now. I'm 19, been cutting since I was 13. So imagine how long it took me. But because I went through that experience, I can help you speed run that. And I can help you get through there because I know the ropes now. Quickly give y'all just a rundown of my journey. Started at 13, was cutting on myself and my brother for about 2 years till I was 15. Met my best friend in high school, freshman year, or actually about sophomore year. But it was towards the end of freshman year. It doesn't matter. Met him. I started cutting his hair for about a year. He was one of the more popular kids, fortunately for me. So his word held a lot of weight around the hood. I'm not gonna lie. His word held a lot. So when he went around, and we all need a friend like that. We need somebody like that. And if you don't have a friend like that, get in touch with somebody like that. Offer them a free haircut. I'll definitely tell that to you as the very first tip. If you're a young entrepreneur, I'm not gonna just call you a barber, you are an entrepreneur. If you are a young entrepreneur trying to build and expand yourself and get your exposure, get in touch with that person that has that type of aura, in a sense, and offer them some type of free haircut, some type of discount to play in their hair, something. I don't know. Hopefully you have the work to show for it, like practice on yourself. Definitely need to practice on yourself before you go get yourself into some mud. I wouldn't want you to do that to yourself. He had a lot of say around the way. And luckily I was able to get in touch with him at 15. And I cut his hair for majority of our childhood. I mean, all the way up. I still cut his hair now for free, obviously, because he's given me this platform in this life that I live now. So I started with him, cut him for about a year. He had a lot of word. He got me a few clients, or a few people. I was charging $15 at the time. And that was small money. Just a quick little side gig just to get, enough for a 5 for 5 biggie bag in my pocket, for lunch every day. But it wasn't a lot of clients at that time. I can imagine I had around like maybe 1 to maybe 3 a week at that time. That's still pretty much a good amount for little. I mean, I was young. I was 15. I did it as like a side thing, but I was more so in an apprenticeship at that time because of him. Thankfully, he got in touch with his childhood barber his barber that he went to before me, prior to me, and he asked for me to be given the opportunity to cut in a barbershop. Now, at first, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the confidence to swim with the big fish, to say that in a sense. I didn't have the confidence to really be with master barbers because I knew I wasn't the best. And I mean, when you think like that, even though it may be the truth that you're not the best, you can't think like that. You just gotta think and know, not think, you gotta know that you will be better and get better the more you do and the more repetitions you take towards doing something. The more heads you cut, the better you get. You're gonna see that in your haircuts all the time. You've been cutting hair for a little bit, go look at your very first haircut compared to the haircut you just did yesterday or last week. You will see what I'm talking about. You will get better over time. It doesn't matter. Experience is the number one thing that you need to do or need to gain. And that's what I needed to learn at that time. I didn't know that. I mean, because we're young, you know, you're in your thoughts, you have your insecurities. We're all human. We're all human, bro. You're gonna have your insecurities. You're not gonna really think in a mindset like that. Like, as mature as I am now, I can carry myself and I will be strong enough to know if I do have certain doubts, I will think that, oh, okay, I just need to keep going with this before I really just give up on it, or I really just think like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I can't and never and I will not, or just those words are poor and ill ways of thinking. And it's not a way that you should really carry yourself, because that will really poison your craft and definitely ruin your opportunities that lie ahead of you. You know, he gave me that opportunity to be an apprenticeship. I did that apprenticeship from 16 years old to 18. Now, my mom was definitely a big part of my upbringing in being a barber. Because like I said, she was the very first person that cut my hair. She was the one that brought me into this and enlightened me to even have the infatuation that I had, or the interest that I had in being able to cut hair. And she always even let me practice on her as well, because she had a pixie cut. And if you don't know what a pixie cut is, it's a short wavelength haircut for females. And she would always let me practice, whether it was scissor work. That's how I got pretty good with scissor work and finer hair. She was mixed, so she didn't have the coarser hair texture that a normal black or native descent. She had a more finer hair texture and not as coarse. So that's how I gained my versatility. I was fortunate enough to have her in my corner to let me also experiment. And she was a very big part. She pushed me to keep going. And I know not all of us have that person, but we also have ourselves, bro. Because at some point after 18, in 2024, February 29th, March 1st, I don't know. It was a leap year, so I don't know. But unfortunately, she did pass away. So I did lose everything as far as my heart goes, and to me, my world goes. So, you know, she was a very important part of my journey and why I did all of this in the first place. Because I only started because, you know, we didn't have enough money. And like I said, I also only started because it sparked that interest that I had in this craft. And, you know, I'm kind of at peace with it because, you know, we all die someday, man. We all die someday. But it is what it is. And we got to keep going, you know. And I also think to myself all the time, you know, what would I do if I didn't have the people that I had? And would I even be a barber? And what else would I possibly do? Like, would I be working a regular 9 to 5, something like that? I don't know. You can't really think that way. You can't think about the past. You can't dwell on the past. And, you know, you can't even really just cry about it, because crying doesn't do anything but slow you down. I mean, well, no. I wouldn't say it like that. We're all human. We can feel emotions. Like, it's natural. I mean, I had cry. I'm not a robot, but you know what I'm saying? it doesn't help to sit there and just dwell on the past. Think about what you want, you know? Think about what you're still here. You're still you know? What is best for you, bro? What is best for you? Just sit there and think to yourself. Ask yourself that question. What is best for you? What do you want? Do you want an M3 competition or M4 competition, whatever it case may be? Do you want to have the latest Balenciagas, or, you know, do you want that Moose Knuckle or Montclair, or this, you know, whether it's materialistic, or do you want to be able to buy your mom a house, whether she's still here, or do you want to be able to give back to your community? And you can do so. And do you want a barbershop? I mean, I don't personally want a barbershop, and I'm going to get into that later on how I've been so successful as a mobile barber. You know, because I've learned to adapt to and deal with the cards that I'm dealt, you know, and that's usually how you have to go with life. You can't really just sit there and complain about what you do and don't have. Because like I said, I mean, I lost my whole world. I had to move here to the DMV with my aunt and uncle at first, and at some point I learned to be on my own and just moved independently. And I still, you know, I still be with them all the time, but, you know, you're gonna have to be a grown man at some point, bro, you know, and we all have to deal with that. And I've had to grow up a little earlier because unfortunately I've, you know, lost my parent. But I don't think of it negatively. I don't think of like, oh, like God took my mom from me. I think of it as a door opening for me, because once I moved out of New York and I moved to the DMV, I was scared. I'll be honest. I was scared. I was hopeless in a sense where, because, you know, I built up somewhat of an empire that I thought was the top of the world for me. I thought that was the ceiling. You know, I was cutting all of my neighborhood at one point, but I was only cutting for $15. Now you can imagine that that's a lot of labor. That ratio of labor to profit was not the best. Like, I was cutting like maybe a lot, like maybe I definitely know I've had hours consistently from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. at some point, like, and I still do cut that heavy, but that's just because I'm young and I love this job. I love doing this. And yeah, now I cut for around $30 to $45, and I make a shit ton of money, bro. Make a lot of money, but we don't want to have to box ourselves into, you know, thinking like, hey, like I have to do this for the money, or, you know, do this. Like, if you really love doing this, this is what you're gonna do. And when I moved here, I really just took that leap of faith to understand what I had to do, and I knew what my mission was. I had to let the world know that I could cut hair, bro. And I mean, this time I didn't have my best friend to really support me and push me out there like that. I had to do it myself. I had to figure out some way to promote my business, promote myself, promote my skill set and everything that I can do, and make me separate myself from other barbers. But I can help you elevate, whether you have a car or not either. I can definitely help you, because we can all start somewhere, bro. We can all start somewhere. And yeah, that's really it, bro. And I just hope you guys have a wonderful day. And yeah. See ya.